Item 10C, receive a report on the fiscal year 2013-14 capital improvements program work plan.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, the item before you tonight comes back to you at the request of the City Council following your review of the capital improvement program and one-year budget at two study sessions that were held in October of 2013, and your approval of that budget and that five-year capital improvement program, which occurred on November 12th of 2013. At that time, the City Council requested that we return with a opportunity for the City Council to take at your pleasure additional consideration of items that are included in that program. In order to facilitate your interest in any discussion that you might wish to have, staff has prepared a fairly lengthy and comprehensive attachment to the staff report, which lays out in various categories the work program associated with the delivery of the capital improvement program, and particularly the work program that is expected to occur over the next 6-month period, with a focus on the action items that will be coming back to the City Council in many of the different projects that are shown in the capital budget. I apologize for the length of that attachment. There was no simple way to summarize a capital improvement program of over $130 million and approximately 70 projects that has been previously before you. It is an ambitious work program and one that we believe is necessary to the vitality and the adequate service of the infrastructure that this community relies on. So staff has produced this information in order to facilitate your conversation. We stand ready to answer any specific questions or to take any further direction from the City Council.
Any questions of staff on this report?
Yes. The big ticket item, $5.1 million. What do we anticipate coming to us? It says the status that there's estimates and cost analysis. This is one of the big items that we've raised rates for, and I guess the big question is we need to be sold. I need to be sold on it also. We've read about it in capital improvement review, and so for the budget, but I just want to anticipate when's that going to happen.
Yes, thank you for that question. This item was the subject of one of our more detailed short presentations as part of the budget study sessions that occurred in October. And staff fully and completely understands that the City Council will need an opportunity to dive into this in a fair amount more detail and to understand the analysis that staff has completed in order to be comfortable with a decision that implicates a $5 million expenditure, plus or minus. Our intent is to produce a specific scope of work along with the additional detail in the cost-benefit analysis and the recovery period analysis, because it is our recommendation to you that this project will recover its cost over a period of time by more accurate water meter readings. As well as the efficiency of those readings being done electronically and automatically. So the next step is to present that analysis to the Infrastructure Subcommittee, which consists of 2 members of the City Council, Councilmember Ibarra not being one of them, but to allow that for a more detailed conversation in that venue, and then to return to the City Council with presentation and discussion in order that you can become more comfortable with that item.
Okay. Not that every other project is equally important. This is a big project. It's citywide. What I don't want to do is get called into a subcommittee meeting a few days before it goes to press to, for the rest of the city council. I'd like to be up to speed probably right now as to where it is, and so that as we go along, we can, have a better understanding so that when it's time for action, it's very clear that we're either on board or we have concerns.
Right. So what I would suggest is that this is an item that, in addition to the subcommittee discussion, be presented to the city council prior to being presented for action, to be presented for review and analysis of the work that staff has developed, so that you have an opportunity to understand it, to discuss it before we ask you to take an action. The director can give you a more precise update about exactly where we are and what that timeline is.
Honorable Mayor, Council Member, good evening. On this project, only just preparation for the inclusion of the project in the CIP was done, including requesting proposal and presentation and discussion by the supplier of this equipment. Will be additional work from this point on to be ready. All of the cost-benefit analysis already were done. This has a critical time element also, that all of our water meters has to be replaced right now. And this would be an opportunity investment also, that investment will be necessary to be made, replacing our water meter system, that they really reach their end of life. This would be a good time to discuss this, with what kind of system or what kind of mirroring system would make the most sense to replace our system. In about 2 months, the department staff will be in the position to make the presentation to the subcommittee and also to the full council, and to start to proceed full speed with the implementation of the project if the council will support it.
Okay. Like I tried to explain earlier, I don't want it to be almost a done deal before the subcommittee comes to the table.
Was no more work other than all of the preparatory work to include this project properly in our capital improvement plan.
I don't want to micromanage. I don't need to be an engineer or something, but I mean, as far as the impacts on the community, the financial ramifications and things. Yeah, thank you.
Through the chair, very quick, just as I don't need to follow up right now, the wildland fire hazard mitigation program, I know it's at 36,000. That's something that I've brought up in the past, and I know it says ongoing to evaluate, but I just know that there's a lot of folks out there that are concerned with areas. Obviously, it's not a lot of money. City manager and I have talked, doesn't go very far to mitigate the concerns and the potential hazards, so we'd just like to keep an eye on that as far as if more is needed or more needs to be done. Thank you.
Anything else?